Hey everybody, this is Rustin Rose with Metal Nation. And to paraphrase our brothers in Leonard Skinner, it's 8 o'clock in Boise, Idaho. We got Mr. Tom Maxwell of Hellyeah to take us to the show. How you doing, brother? It's been a while.
Doing great, man. Thank you. And I love starting off with a little Skinner reference. That's great.
Absolutely. Well, you know, it was funny. One of the times that you guys were in town, your brother Vinnie said he would love to actually do that song one time when you guys came to Boise just for kicks because he thought it would be funny. But
yeah.
So how's your hand feeling?
It's healing great, man. I mean, it's about 90% there as far as just flexibility and stuff. So the surface of it and the actual palm itself is closed up and healed up, and color is back. And I started playing a little bit. My doctor told me that the best therapy I could do in rehabilitation is just play my guitar, just play. So it's kind of what I've been doing. And I'll be ready to go by November, man. 100%.
Perfect. The new album, Welcome Home, drops tomorrow. You know, I cannot fathom everything you guys went through making this record, personally, professionally. I would assume the process of completing the album, there had to be...
Yeah, I mean, you really had to swallow and get yourself out of your own emotions, we all were just having a lot of anxiety, and personally I was just having panic attacks, and it was just hard. There was so much uncertainty when we went back in. We knew we had finished the record, but at the same time, we were just like, how are we going to continue with this record, and get back out there in the grind of the tour and all that stuff. But, I think in the long run, it really pulled us together and helped us, shake off a lot of the apprehension that we had and break the ice a little bit emotionally. It was good for us to get together and, just finish this record. And I think we accomplished it and get it in a way that I know that Vince would be really proud of us, and he'd be really proud of the songs. And, I'm excited for everybody to hear it tomorrow, as a whole piece. It's the cool thing about this record. It's really a journey. It starts off really heavy, and it just takes you on this just mountainous kind of journey up and down, and it's awesome. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I've been listening to it the last couple of days, and it's very much Hellyeah, but you can just sense the intensity and emotion sort of reverberating through it. So
yeah, we took some chances on some songs. We went outside our comfort zone and tried some things that, it wasn't like we tried it. It's just stuff that we longed to do, but just it never came into fruition. And so on this record, we really wanted to feel a sense of uncertainty with certain things, because it's a little bit outside of our comfort zone. And to me, that really just shows that we're just growing still. We're still developing. And I think this record it's kind of a period at the end of a sentence in some ways, but it's also, there's hope there, and we'll see what we do in the future. Right now it's just kind of focusing in on honoring the record, honoring Vince and his memory, his brother dying as well, and just carrying this torch, and just support this record as much as we can. And honestly, after that, we're not really thinking too far ahead after that.
You guys returned to work with Kevin Churko again. What is it about that connection that works so well for you think?
He just gets us, man. As a songwriter, I've always longed to work with somebody who, let me just go back a minute. Like, a producer is like a kind of like a loosely thrown term to me, because most guys that get in there are just glorified technicians or glorified engineers. They make you sound good. They know how to edit things perfectly. They know how, they get the vibe going, but they're not but I won't say all of them, but there's a good majority of them aren't songwriters, and Kevin's a songwriter. He's a guy who's got a vision, and he brings another element to the mix, and he gets us, and like sitting down with him and writing and recording, and then him coming back with this idea or that idea, this idea, like completely musically change, things, just moving stuff around, just adds a different element. I think we've grown as songwriters with him. He's helped us, since we've done Blood for Blood, we've just kind of catapulted ourselves as writers, and like have really been able to dig in and dig deep and know what it is to like really develop a song instead of, before we would just kind of demo, and we, the first few records we would demo songs, and then we just get in there and record them as is and mix them in-house, and do all that stuff, and never really had somebody like Kevin that, brought in a different musical element or different musical ideas or different sounds or different just kind of helping us decorate, you know what I mean? And, I think there's a comfort there. He's become like a brother in a way, like kind of like a sixth member in a way. And I can't see working with anybody else that I would feel completely, comfortable with, because especially now, that he went through all this with us, it wasn't just the band, Vinnie and Kevin were close too, and Kevin suffered a lot from it. And, if there is to be any more music from us in the future, he would definitely have to be the guy to do it, so there's more than just a work relationship there. We're friends and we're bros, and again, it all really comes down to he just understands and gets our vision.
You've already put 5 tracks out there for fans to get a sense of the album, a little variety, and the response seems to be overwhelmingly positive, and that has to feel really good in the midst of all sort of the uncertainty with Vince and everything else.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's just the sign of the times, man. It's just, as far as releasing so much music up front, the physical sales are drastically lower than what they were just a couple of years ago. There's just very few outlets left that sell that, and so it's all about the streaming and the instant gratification. And the response has been killer. I've been really eager for everyone to hear this record and the songs that have been released so far. We're going over great, and it feels great, and I know that the rest of the band feels the same way. There's, we released that song Perfect, for example, it's just kind of like a gratis to throw out there, and I didn't know what people were going to think of it, because it's one of those songs, like I was talking before, that is kind of, outside the comfort zone. There's different elements, like slight elements of pop in it, maybe, like in the music and stuff, and I just didn't know what people were going to respond to, and it's been great. I'm really thrilled, man.
Let's talk about the tour. You guys are getting out there, honoring the album, celebrating the life of Vinnie and Don. Tell us a little bit about how, because you already did the first leg with Roy behind the kit, and how's it all been going so far for you guys?
I tell you, man, it's been going, man, I mean, it's just been going super awesome. I mean, the fact that we have gelled with Roy the way we have live, I mean, it's like literally a machine. We're playing great. We're excited. We're all together. We're bonding, with Roy, and in the beginning it was rough, man. I have to admit, on a personal side, leading into the tour, I was just distraught and very confused whether I wanted to do it, whether I belonged there anymore. And, the anxiety and panic levels were just, a little overwhelming. But once we broke through those first few shows, it really started to come together, and we couldn't have picked a better person, to come and help us do this with Roy. He was just an amazing dude. Our history goes back years, man, and him and Vinnie were friends, and they respected each other, and that was important, for us to get somebody that not only were we tight with, but somebody that Vince would have been happy of the decision we made. You know what I mean? Somebody he respected, loved. And even as important as all that was the fans. With somebody of Vinnie Paul's caliber, and he was so beloved out there by all his fans. Yeah, it was a very slippery slope, and we knew that we had to get somebody that the fans were going to be, that makes sense, and it's cool. Roy's a badass, and they were going to be okay with. Because I think if we would have went with some hot shot that bounces around from this band or the other band, and I'm not disrespecting that at all, but I think if we would have went that route, I don't think the people would have embraced it the way they have embraced Roy. It's been great, and I'm looking forward to this next run. It starts in North Carolina. We're actually making up one of the dates that we had to cancel because of my hand. We're starting there and heading up all the way up to Canada and across and down. So it's going to be a little bit of a lengthy one, but it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to catching up with you in Boise. You guys sort of wrapped up the first leg of the tour back on your old stomping grounds there in Dallas. What was that experience like for you?
Well, it's home as far as
Right.
to a sense that that's where the band started, you know what I mean? And we kind of did our demos. I mean, none of us live in Texas, you know, except for Vince. He was the only one. But I know what you're saying. And yeah, to go back to Hellyeah home, it was, it was amazing. It was an amazing show, but there's a lot of reservations there, you know, from us to be in Texas anymore. And I mean, and we're not saying that we don't love Texas. We love Texas, but it's painful, man. And even to see, you know, our crew, our friends and stuff that used to always be together, man. We always, you know, when all of us were in Texas, you know, we all stayed with Vince. We always had Sunday fun day. We always had things to do. There was always people around, and everybody's just kind of spread out now. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, when the matriarch or patriarch or your family dies, you don't go to grandma's house anymore, and everybody kind of just splits apart. It's kind of like that sadness there. But it was a sold out show, and the people came out, and they were loud, they were fantastic, and they were embraced everything that we were giving them that night. And of course, you know, we have this tribute we do in the set, you know, to Vinnie, and we play a video of, it's kind of like a real artistic montage of him. We use the song Sky and Water, just the album version of it, just to kind of narrate it. And usually a lot of wet tears coming down, you know, not a dry eye, but, you know, then we come out and we do a couple Pantera songs, which we've never done. We've never done it with Vince. You know, we've never ever played music from like our previous bands. We've always felt like Hellyeah can hold up on its own, do its own thing. But, you know, we felt that Pantera was a massive, massive, massive inspiration to all of us. And, you know, we felt that it was a good thing for us to do, is go out there and play a few songs and just honor that legacy as well.
Just real quickly, you know, you guys are our Artist of the Month for September. You guys have had 2
thank you.
chapters so far. This is the end of that second chapter. We hope there will be a third chapter, but regardless, we want to thank you for everything you guys have done for us over the years. The music, just the camaraderie, the brotherhood in metal. So thank you for that.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that, and our pleasure. Thank you, brother.